And then again, when I'm opening big things, I tend to use that corner of mine from there, and cross down. And then finished off using I often find that with bigger things like that, it's difficult judging where what thickness you've got to the bottom of the pot. And the old trick with potters where they were throwing large lumps of clay was that they would throw a smaller lump first as a dome, put a penny piece on the top, and then throw down to that and you know where the bottom is.
Do you use that technique very much? The coin?
I used to do it, when I was making big storage jars, which isn't that big.
Because it can be really helpful in terms of you don't need as much energy to sort of throw if you use that technique, do you? There's a lot of work, there's a lot of effort to bring the base out on a big lump of clay like that.
Yes, and the other danger is that if you put a big piece of clay on, as you put it on, you trap air underneath it. If you've got that domed piece to begin with, and you put a second piece on, the air escapes, so it has that added advantage as well. Often when I'm just the initial pull up with a big lump of clay is done as well on the wrong side of the clay, because you can use this sort of very solid push that you can get from using the hand against the clay and bring it up for that initial pull.
So you're using your knuckle again on the outside?
You can just get a good bit of power behind. I reuse that slurry. And get the surface well lubricated so that you're not going, if you're pulling up, you then come across a dry patch on your hand sticking up. Moving in the wrong direction.
And this is at S?
Yeah. I have a bit of an aversion to throwing with ribs. In my youth they seem to be used a lot in throwing, because people were taught throwing, and it always seemed to me that it kind of very much deadened the pots. But actually when it comes to bigger pots, there's more point to it, because you're having to use so much force on the clay that you do get very indented throwing ribs. And again, if you can use a rib, it's spreading the pressure over a large area, but it's a large area up and down on that, so you can get a smooth finish to what, and I'll use one a bit later on. Right, so this is going to be the bottom of a two-piece pot. So what I'm going to do is just to make a groove. I want a V-shaped groove in here, actually, it's not. Ben, could you just pass me one of those pots that got a more angled corner?
Not with the angle.
No, just sure one, even one of the ones that are square, by using the square end.
Not quite square, but
yeah, you can. So that's got to be in the middle of the wall. And so the top half is going to have a pointed edge that's going to drop in there. Okay. And then the other thing here is that you've got to accurately measure this, because the groove from the top of that one has got to fit well into there. So it's very important.
So you're measuring to
I'm measuring the point
bottom of the
groove.
bottom of the groove. Right.
So you'll see both at the same time.
Hmm.
So that's quite an important part now.
Yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, because if they don't fit, we're into trouble. Because you're working here with very fine tolerance. With that other method, I just sat it on top, and then in the actual throwing you can move it about, so you can get away with that. But this, by the nature of the join. Now when I started making these big pots, I just did the same thing as that. I just had a flat top there and a flat top on the top of this thing. And it seemed to work all right. And then one day when I was putting a pot into the kiln, and this thing, I look at the bottom, see there's no glaze on it. And really good pot, held it up like this, and the top fell off over my shoulder. Because if you're with the big pots, they're all going to be raw glaze, because it's not a thing to biscuit by. If you join the clay together like that on a thickness that's it's very narrow, so there's not much manipulating the clay around that joint. And secondly, these two have dried a bit before you put them together, so they're not wet clay like that, which just joins together, coming naturally with a bit of pressure on it. And then you raw glaze it, and when you raw glaze it, the water in the glaze will find any weakness, so it just goes, it's a bit of a gap between the two goes into it.
Would you bisquify beforehand, in theory? Would you bisquify before?
Well, if you biscuit far before, you might get away with it, but again, it shows that it's weak, so it's not so good. If you're doing, I don't think I'm going to have time to do that, and I really don't know how to do it anyway, but the Chinese have this way, and the Indians sort of do the same thing, where pots are beaten. Now, if you put two pots together at the soft and hard stage, and then you beat them into a bigger pot, the very action of that beating on that join will get it to join very solidly. So there you could put together two flat joins, two flat edges, and then in the beating, come together. So you might get away with that. But with our way, where you're just going to put this together, throw a little bit to change the shape. There's not enough manipulating. But with this method, essentially you're doing that, and then with this throwing it, you close up. So you've got this laminated joint, as it were. And I've never had those come apart. But of course that has got fit. It's a bit there, it's not going to work. The coiling, and then they sort of finish them with throwing, and you get in places like they did it in parts of Portugal, along the Dalmatian coast, where they basically coil a pot and then they finish it by throwing. And if you do that, you set it aside so it dries a bit. You can carry on forever, but the trick is that you do have to have control over the drying and not move it somewhere else.
I'm quite like having my texture finish on my pot.
Do you paddle them as well then when you're coiling?
No, you don't.
Yeah.
But you should use slap it with a bat or something, to...
Well, no, when I came back to Zaki, he had a paddle, but he had a pattern cut in it. To stop it sticking for one thing, but also leaves a nice sort of pattern over the left. Very handy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's another example of decoration coming from techniques I'm showing. Originally, they scored those bits of wood so that they wouldn't stick to the clay when you patterned, and then they came up with a nice pattern as well.
Where was it? I was reported to Hammond last year, and she'd got given these paddles. I remember it was from someone in Korea, and you have to keep them wet all the time, so they sort of be left floating or they dry and just break. But they've got an amazing grain in them, which serves as the same purpose.
So if they age, it becomes more
the summer growth, where the winter growth stays there, so you get where they cut them, you get wonderful waves.
I can't remember what the wood was called there.
There's some Asian pine. Right, so this one I'm going to open right down to the wheel head. depending a little bit what sort of shape you're going to end up with, you may leave more clay at the bottom than you would other times. So if you're going to make something with a very large bottle, you might leave more clay there because you want to take it in and make a neck out of it. But the object of this method is to throw them fairly thin, so you've done most of the work in this first stage, and then when you put them together the second time you just do a little bit of shaping. And that's partly because once it's dried it's more to do work on anyway, and it's easier obviously to do as much work as possible in the separate stages.
If you leave more on the bottom because you want to colour it in and bottle makeup and things, can you then later want a bit heavy or something?
Well, yes, it will be, but given that the pot has both halves have dried a bit, it can carry quite a way. And again, I haven't done it for a long time, but I used to make big storage jars. It stood about sort of so high. They were made with 3 pieces. So I put this on top of that. I then throw the bottom, which is now the top, make a groove, third bit and so on.
You could do this endlessly.
And you could do it endlessly.
Yeah, it gets to the point where the bottom is completely dry and the top is...
Yes.
You'd end up with a bulge somewhere.
End up with a
bulges. It's almost inevitably just from the different drying.
yes. Yeah, because you often see it when it's pots and finished with that little bit of a wobble where the join. And so again on things like those pots I was talking about in Cyprus, Crete, they'll often do a band of clay around the join, then use for decoration, reinforce
Covers up the...
sort of covers up that.
I did something similar with David. We just put a band around and then used the comb to make a pattern on it.
Yeah.
Just where I'd done the join.
Right, so I need to know that this is pretty much the right.
Are you anywhere near coffee yet, then?
Well, you get,
Yeah,
well, that's fine because I can carry on and I've still got.
Yeah,
more things
all right.
to do,
Then I'm going to put the kettle on between then going down.
the kettle's here. Okay, so I've got to measure. It's easier to go out than to go in. So I would make that a little bit on the small side, and then you can adjust it by just pulling this out.
Have you not seen that before?
Well, I haven't either. The names haven't registered. All my sort of Lego houses here. Someone sent me an email yesterday. They're going to Legoland, and they had to, I didn't realise that Lego made sets of architectural houses, and they had one by Lee Fox. I watched a YouTube video of this Lego house being built, and I was very impressed, and I'm now in love with Lego again. I've been using it for years. And suddenly, new Santa Clauses around everywhere. I couldn't wait on them.
I had a whole roll of that tape,
Oh, yeah.
which came from Tape Modern, I think. So every time we were packing stuff up to go to Oxfam and clearing out my mother's house, all the boxes were sealed up with less is more.
Well, I got into trouble when I was couriering alone because I was packing up some works about on paper and I don't really know anything about them. And the other guy who's packing them with me is also a textile conservator. So we were being incredibly economical with the tape, and we were sort of like doing an outer-wrapping of polythene and just little bits of tape. And then when it got back to the museum and the paper conservator said, well, why didn't you completely seal the packet? Because you're supposed to take a microclimate inside the polythene. And there's me being tiny little bits of tape and not creating an entire seal inside. So it's not always normal.
Right. So now I've got that one that I made yesterday, which I'm going to say in token. See around there. Okay. Then that's going to be wired off.
Quite awkward to wire them up at that height, isn't it?
Yeah.
Well, no, because kind of like when you use your head. Your head.
Ah.
Oh, just sort of mixture. Yes,
Yeah.
Because you can send it.
Oh, this is definitely a YouTube moment.
Potter.
Let it high on purpose then.
Well, I was thinking of that gap in the wall.
Yes.
That gap in the kiln.
Oh,
Not sure it's going to be low enough yet. So I'm compressing.
You haven't added any water?
Yeah, compressing those bits against the bit on the inside. Now I just dampened it because of the way that any thinner bit like that will.
you didn't put any slip on it or anything, no?
No, I've never found slips. Slips more like to stop it from sticking rather than make it stick. You just want to dampen it. Yep. And the wheel that goes down further.
If you use a little stool, you would
Oh, we could.
stand on that.
Yeah. Oh, we had a conversation earlier about throwing away furniture from, clearing out relations' houses.
Yes. And now you
Footstools and things seem to be,
Platform shoes.
It's actually good to wire nothing really till you're completely finished, isn't it? It's good not to wire anything till you're completely
Oh,
finished.
not these, no, because you still need them.
Yeah.
They're attached. So definitely when you're working on things that are upstairs on the boards, definitely don't want them. So the aim of this is just to put a little bit of shape into it. I'm thinking about another gap in the wall. You want to put a bit of shape in it.
I can't remember what everybody has. So,
coffee.
Coffee.
Oh, coffee.
Coffee.
Builder's tea.
Builder's tea. Coffee.
Red bush tea, please. If you've got it.
Yeah, yeah.
There we go. Do you ever find that some with big pots you almost need two potters to work on it?
I have on occasions when, if you've got one of those wheels that hasn't got the hand control, you need somebody else to operate where you just can't get to it. There's a lovely picture in a Japanese book I got of this Shikoku, the island off the south coast of Japan. There's pottery there that made big pots, and they had just kick wheels. And their method was putting on a coil and throwing that, and then putting on another coil and throwing that. And there's a wonderful picture of a man standing on a pile of bats, working on the top of this huge pot. And the wheel is being turned by guys lying on his side. And the wheels there's a flywheel and a wheel head that's about that far apart. And between them there are struts. So he's turning it, lying on his side, pushing his feet between the struts to push it round. And because it's quite a big pot, at the top of it, so it doesn't have to go that fast to actually have quite a high peripheral speed, It's wonderful, And I'm not sure that now looking at the photograph whether he can see what the guy is doing, because normally that's it. The person providing the power or controlling the speed needs to be able to see what the person is doing, but no doubt shouting at each other.
Do you throw with a stick a bit or something, to give yourself a bit more reach?
Sorry.
Throw with a stick,
I would find that pretty difficult to control. I think at this level, if you've got a long stick, you need an awful lot of strength in your wrist.
It wouldn't need to be a long stick. It could be a short stick, just to give you a bit more reach once you're
it could do.
in there.
Yes. I haven't.
I've got one that's suitable for that.
Well, over there are. I've got some of those wooden spoons I've cut.
So how soft is this clay? I mean, this is something you threw yesterday, and it's...
I threw this yesterday, sort of early evening, but it hasn't dried that much.
Would you ever wet it down and then sort of cover it up and come back to it once it's softened up a bit more?
You could do, but the less of that sort of mucking about you can do, it's better to control the drying. So often what I'll do is I would have put a bit of plastic over the top of both of them when they were sitting there, so that bit is dry out. This bit attached to the bat is going to dry more slowly anyway, so the bottom part's dry less. So it probably would just be that would cover the tops. Yeah.
And each of those is about 10 pounds of clay again.
Yes. Yeah, at the time when I was making big storage jars, I would tend to do sort of about 15 or even 20 pounds of clay for the bottom, and then because the top hasn't got a bottom, you might have 5 or 7 pounds or less in the piece that's then going on the top. So my idea that it's going to be for umbrellas, it's probably a bit tall even for umbrellas. Because to be honest, I didn't really have a very good idea in my mind that it was it always does need to have a very good idea in my mind. not to do. That's the one.
It's the one thing you should never do.
That's the one failing of this wheel. It has this ridiculously insensitive. You have to move it a small amount.